views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Live an enlightened and authentic life by standing in your own power. The Dr. Brie Show, The Goddess Emergence, brings forth new information supporting the ascension process happening on the planet now. Learn the true meaning of the word goddess and why each and every one of us is a divine being. Dr. Brie travels multiple worlds, bringing through the unknown ancient knowledge and messages to help you remember who you truly are and live life with truth, trust, and passion. Now, here's your host, Dr. Brie Gibbs.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Dr. Brie, and I'm on Transformation Talk Radio. Today, I have two amazing guests, Pia Orleane and Cullen Smith. This is such a pleasure for me today to be able to talk about the Palladian energy that I am a part of. And a lot of us are a part of, but they're going to break it down for me and for others today. And so I'm just going to go right to it and bring them on. Hi, Pia. Hi, Cullen. How are you?
Hi, Brie. We're glad to be here with you.
Hi, Brie. We're really happy to be on your show today.
Well, thank you. So I read the book. I got to get this up. This is amazing. So we have one for anybody that calls into the show, or just write at drbriegibbs.com and I will send you a book. So there you go on that one. So I have a question for you that I really want, because I have a lot of questions. So I just want to get right to this. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
It's great.
Okay, great. So in your book, you talk about the Palladian energy astrological system to help others to move forward in unity. Explain that a little bit to me, because a lot of people don't understand unity.
It's like having a family where each individual member of the family has their own personality, but there's still a unit of a family. It's sort of like that, because unity means that we all carry a particular piece of the puzzle, and it takes all of us to make a united whole, to make the whole thing perfect. So we are all important, but we're different, and that's good.
Okay, good, great. So, we are also focused on our differences, and we still do the blame game and judge and criticize each other. And I'm so past that. How do we get people to stop doing that?
I think the first thing to do to stop doing that is become aware that you're doing it. And one good way to do that is to stop and make yourself pay attention to every single thing you think. If you pay attention to what you think, then you can catch your thoughts about, am I judging somebody? Am I blaming myself? Am I blaming somebody else? How could I phrase what I'm experiencing or feeling differently? So the point of change is the point where we start noticing it so that we can pay attention to it.
And the faster that we do this, the faster that we realize that we're making a judgment or a comparison or a competitive thought. As soon as we have that thought, that is absolutely the best time to realize that we have to change that thought and step away from whatever that is, a judgment or a competitive feeling. And as we do that, it becomes easier and easier each time we come to that focal point of, oh, this person's different than I am, or I don't like this person. All we have to do before we say anything is to think about what thought we're having. And that automatically changes the choice we're going to make outwardly, either through speech or action.
So like with me, I put all my thoughts in my heart before I say a word.
That's
absolutely
like I have a bunch of notes in front of me. And even as I'm reading them, they're going in my heart. So they come out properly, because when you're busy, you're writing things and you get this all done and you type it up and you get it ready. And then you look at it and go, that doesn't feel so good. I'm not going to say that one. And that's what I want people to get to understand. If it doesn't feel good in your heart, don't say it. Get rid of it. Send part of that ego out of you that's making you think this stuff. Say bye-bye for a little bit, go take a shower and get cleaned up and then come back,
We have a really funny way of saying what you just said in a different way. It's really good to take our thoughts for a walk around the block before we say anything. And that's exactly what you're explaining.
Because if we don't, and we come out very emotional with whatever it is we're thinking, we spew that emotional negative energy on whoever's around us. And it also doesn't make us feel very happy either. It makes us just feel more unhappy because we're sort of stewing in that energy. It's not helpful to live.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but that is so true. My husband, I can't use my clients, so I'm going to use my husband. I had an example with him yesterday. And I was reading some of the stuff out of the book to him and talking. And he started getting angry. I'm going, something hitting home? Something you need to change in yourself, because you can't teach your husband. At least I can't. So I send them somewhere else, right? Go work with this person instead, because you're going to work with that person. I'll choke you, And so he's working on himself, right? But I'm finding out right now that men are going through such an emotional time right now. I mean, harder than I've ever seen.
We agree with that.
This is a point that is so important right now to talk to people about. The male tribe is trying, at least the conscious members of the male tribe, they're trying to step away from the total control of the patriarchy that's been in existence for such a long time. And so for men, it's doubly hard to try to balance their male and female aspects together to make a balanced human. So you're absolutely right, Brie. Men are having an incredibly difficult time trying to figure out what life is all about.
And you're also right in saying, no, you can't change a husband. We can't change anybody but ourselves.
Correct. Yeah. Like he has said to me, I've seen such a change in you in the last year. Well, I worked hard to get the change in me. I went through several transformations, and that you did my chart. And the last one, not the one you just did. And, so I went through all these transformations, and he's seen that. And now he's like crying. He goes, I don't even know why I'm crying. I don't know what's happening. I said, you need to read the book, Shadow Cycles. You need to read it and find out why. So like I told you the other day, make the calendar. I made him a calendar for him.
Good.
Which one kind of fits with him, And so, but anyway, so thank you for confirming that, Cullen. I really appreciate it, because he's going every weekend. It's like, I'm tired. I don't know what to do. And he'll just stand there. It's like, I could have the bedroom painted by now.
Well,
and that's true. I mean, it's just one wall.
Yes.
Yeah. Brie, we're hearing this same story from people all around the world. Men are being taken down to their knees because they have thought they had to be the warriors, the competitive ones, the controllers, all of the things that the patriarchy stands for. And now, all of a sudden, the divine feminine is really coming to the place where she should have been all along, balanced with the divine masculine. And so men are totally confused. What you're describing is absolutely accurate.
Wow. I'm right for once. I have to have fun on my shows. Okay, next question that I want to talk about the spiritual birthdays.
Okay.
That was really important to me.
Well, we live in a calendar system here on Earth that's artificial. Cullen, what are the dates on the Gregorian calendar? You've got that.
Well, we've done a lot of research. We've been working with this system for over a decade, trying to refine it, trying to make it absolutely make sense to the public. And in that, we've done lots and lots of research about historical reasons for why the old system has been where it is and how long it's been there. Mm-hmm. And the Gregorian calendar was introduced in, I think, 1582. We've been working with this calendar system for a very long time. The mechanical clock came about not quite 100 years later 1680, I think. And so we've been enslaved and imprisoned in these two artificial types of time for 500 to 600 years. And they don't work. They never worked. And what we're trying to do is help people understand that there's a better way to work with our lives.
So the reason this is important is because previously when we had goddess societies, and the goddess societies, everything was based on nature. So we started our day with the sun coming up. We ended our day with the sun going down. That's the natural rhythm that a calendar should be based on. The Pleiadian Earth Energy Calendar is such a calendar. It's based on that rhythm. It's also based on the cycles of Venus, which is every 260 days. The Gregorian calendar is based on an arbitrary 365 days, which is supposedly approximately how long the Earth takes to go around the sun, but it has to be adjusted every 4 years because it's not accurate. It just shows that we're trying to live in a system that isn't actually accurate.
Well, I have your calendar, and I love it. I follow it.
Thank you.
I follow it. It's just on my desk every day. But the thing I like is, as a small girl, I always said to my mom, Monday should be the first day. And I'm like in grade school, right? What grade school kid would really know that kind of stuff, right? And I said, it's wrong. And when I first got your first calendar, I was like, it's right. Finally, somebody has it right, you know? And now I'm going to be 60 here pretty soon. It's like, oh man, this is great. This is what it's supposed to be about. And then even like when I pick a day for a guest or different things, I look at the calendar to see if it's the right day for the guest.
Right.
Or my own life for the day. You know, what should I be doing? Like, you know, enlightenment, or should I be looking at the shadow cycles and stuff and things? So, you know, like with the shadow cycles, we're going to go break here pretty soon, but the shadow cycles that we individually have are so important that we look at those. It's not like the dark night of soul, which is completely different. And it's like, when you look at those shadow cycles, you know, you say, and in your book says that approximately every 65 days. And as you know, I'm in one, you know, and it's like, when I thought about it yesterday, for some reason, I got happy. I can't explain it. I've been on like cloud air since yesterday.
That's great. Well, that's the way shadow cycles are supposed to be met, is to look and see what it is. It's like cleaning out an old closet.
Yeah.
What is stuck in the psyche that we need to get rid of? What pattern is it we need to break? So the shadow cycles help us do that. You ask about spiritual birthdays. The spiritual birthday comes every 260 days based on the cycle of Venus, but it comes at the end of one of your shadow cycles. It comes at the end of the shadow cycle that is most closely aligned with the energy that was actually present when you were born, not the energy that we arbitrarily step into on our Gregorian birthday, but the energy that actually matches what was present right before you came to Earth. And that's why it's a spiritual birthday, because it's celebrating your decision to come to this planet, to work through these cycles and patterns, to clear out the shadows, and to help humanity evolve.
Well, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in a little bit.
Learn to keep your best friend happy at Button Veterinary Hospital, your veterinarian in Tacoma, Washington, a full-service companion and animal hospital providing quality veterinary care throughout the life of your pet. At Button Vet, they understand the special role your pet plays in your family and are dedicated to becoming your partner in your pet's healthcare. To learn more about Button Vet, Dr. Danielle Jensen, and their other incredible veterinarians, visit buttonvet.com.
Do you want the knowledge and wisdom to understand where spirituality, science, and psychology intersect? Then join the Karmic Path Radio Show with Tina and Laura on TransformationTalkRadio.com Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. Follow this charmingly, disarmingly dynamic duo as they explore how psychic ability, spirituality, and karmic law tie together. For more information on Tina, Laura, and their groundbreaking work, visit thekarmicpath.com.
beyond symptom management into true wellness with Jessica Dooley on Purely You Radio. Tune in every third Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific as Jessica guides you to find and embrace your purest self. Not the self that is shown on social media, not the self that is created in your family's eyes, but your purest version of you. Purely You Radio supports true wellness, not just symptom management. For more information about working with Jessica Dooley, visit purelyyouhealing.com.
The Knowledge Book, currently studied in 39 countries and 15 languages around the world, accelerates our evolution, takes us out of depression, offers universal truth, protects us, and makes us stronger, both spiritually and physically. So if you are interested in the Knowledge Book, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net and tune in to the Knowledge Book Radio with Marge Potasic on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Calling all moms, it's time to awaken your vibrant, intuitive, loving self in every area of your life. Join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares thoughts, stories, and tools to help you stand in your power. Listen to Vibrant, Powerful Moms, helping everyday women create extraordinary lives. Mondays at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. For more information about Debbie, visit empoweringenergy.com. That's empowering with letters NRG.com.
Cullen, during their break, we were talking about the Pleiadian wisdom. Can you explain that to me?
Sure. The Pleiadians have been doing their very best to help humanity grow, evolve, change in good ways, not forced ways, but enlightened ways. And their primary message is about unity, the whole idea of the fact that we have the choice to get along, to work together, to be a unified society instead of the way that we as humanity has unfortunately designed the way we live through greed, competition, war, poverty, all of the things that go on around the world that are absolutely unnecessary. We have the ability through our human choice to make the highest possible decisions. And unity is the highest possible decision. It's making every person equally important. No hierarchy, no special abilities, no nothing other than simply living together, working together, and sharing. And you have a thought about that?
I don't think there's anything more important than recognizing that unity is the same as love. And if we work on unity and sharing everything, then we're living in a state of love. And that's all that it's about.
That is so true. That is so true. You know, a while ago, back in October, I was taking a class and Merlin had channeled through. And he has said, it's no longer love and light. And he put his fingers together like this and says, it's love and love working together. Love and love. And so, you know, I'm writing Love Brie or Love and Love Brie, you know, it's like, you know, because that's what it's about, you know. People ask me, do you have any people you don't like? No. Because there's really nobody I don't like. You know, I may not agree with their opinions, but we don't have a right to judge them.
Right.
And we shouldn't even be judging ourselves for who we are. So thank you for that answer, because it's so important. You know, go ahead.
Well, you just brought up another really important point. People do have different opinions. People do have different ideas. And that's another part of what the Pleiadians are trying to help humanity understand, is that duality has been misunderstood forever amongst us. Duality is bringing two ideas together and allowing them both to be right, not one right and one wrong, but equally important, as Pia said earlier, to create a better whole, to create a better combination of diverse ideas, diverse feelings, whatever it is that's not the same. And so what you just said is absolutely, I think, as important as the idea of love, because we have to stop judging. And the best way to stop judging is to realize we're actually all the same. And there's no reason to judge anyway.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. That's very true. I go by the universal laws. And the very first one is no judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And honor and respect other people's opinion. You may not like my background, but you still honor and respect it no matter what.
That's what makes you who you are.
It is. It really does. So like I'm in my home office today and this is me, and when I'm down center, I have a different set, right? But it's who I am that makes me, and you're correct. So the growing awareness today and of what the term universal connection, that everything is connected. Can you talk about that in 2019, how it plays out?
I think in 2019, everything that is the face of the old duality, the way we perceived duality in the past, is coming to the surface to heal. All the you, me, the us, them, the right, wrong, all of those opposites are coming up to the surface as big shadows and a lot of conflict and what Larkma likes to call dynamic tension, because out of that dynamic tension we grow. And that tension's pulling and pulling and pulling away from the two opposites until we reach a point where we sort of ricochet back and go, oh, we're all one. So we're moving towards unity by understanding the polar opposites are really not so different. It's a little bit like looking at a penny and realizing it's two different sides of the penny, but it's the same coin.
Okay. So what about, we in 2019 is being a great year for manifesting opportunities right now. And a lot of people aren't seeing that. And can you talk about that a little bit, please?
Well, we feel that 2019 is the year of collaboration.
Well, yeah, it is.
It's absolutely about collaborating. So we are doing as much collaborative work as we can with other people who might want to bring out a different perspective, but it's the same general view towards peace, love, harmony, unity, oneness, all these things that we're trying to achieve. And discussing them in a public forum like we're doing right now on your show is bringing the different perspectives and enlivening them so that everybody can see every single angle of how we approach unity.
This is just the beginning of 2019. We're just barely started in this new year, and we're finding more collaboration worldwide than we've ever seen before. We're seeing diverse groups getting together. We're actually seeing many institutions that have felt that they needed to be separate or different coming together and working for a focused, unified outcome. And we've never seen this before. We didn't see it in 2017. We didn't see it in 2018. But all of a sudden, this year seems to be spawning this new development. And we're hoping and we believe that this is going to continue to blossom, and that as we get further and further into this year, we're going to see more and more collaboration.
I like that. I really like that, because I think it's so important that people get together, share their knowledge, and collaborate. I think it's important no matter what side they may be coming from, Palladian, the Sirens, Sirius, whatever, because we all come from the star system, we all know that. But, it's like we need to get together. And so people that we're in the planet now and come together and work together as one. So I have a story. Yes, Pia?
One of the things that Larkma has told us about this time in 2019 is that we are really at the edge of ending hierarchy, that we should step away from having teachers, leaders, and healers and recognize that every single one of us is a teacher, is a leader, is a healer, and stop trying to put it in, oh, I'm the teacher, you're the student, or I'm the healer and you're sick. And instead say, let me facilitate your healing. I'm here to support you. You do it.
And they're actually using a word that we really like. They're replacing teaching, healing, and leading with just one word: sharing. Just sharing. And
you are so true about this. This makes me happy to hear somebody else finally agreeing with me. People say, "Can you be my teacher?" No. The mind shift had changed, right? 3 years ago, yes. Now, no. I can guide you.
Yep.
I may not say it the way you're saying it, but I can guide you. And I'm not the healer. I'm just a conduit. you know, so I make sure they know that. And I leave and I have fun with, say, Jermaine or whoever I'm going to work with. I was on a dove the other day flying around while I'm working, and I heard, lean against the table or you're going to fall, because I was gone so far. So I moved my body, moved forward, right? And I'm gone and having fun. And I didn't fall, luckily. But it's very true what you're saying. You know, I'm not going to be someone's guru, and you're not going to be either. But as long as we collaborate together, we can get messages out to so many people. You know, I think about one thing. I was on Dr. Pat's show, and I was saying, you know, be kind to people. Give somebody's asking for a cup of coffee. Buy them a cup of coffee. What's it going to kill you? Buy a cup of coffee, right? So it was not more than a few days later, and I'm driving to the grocery store, and there's a guy out there. Can you buy an old man a cup of coffee? I was in the wrong lane. I hear, you turn around. You said you buy somebody a cup of coffee on a show. You didn't do it, right? Next thing you know, a whole bunch of people showed up. He had coffee, breakfast, and was able to go eat. And I haven't seen him since, but he did not look like the ordinary man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like, let me see if this is going to work. And I've never seen him again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I know that some of them are on the planet and trying to show us the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they may look homeless. They may look this or that, or, you know, and this guy, he didn't look like the ordinary homeless man. I will tell you that. And
you're giving me goosebumps, because we experience this on a regular basis. And what we know is that these people, these beings, we think are probably angels, showing up at the right time to give us the opportunity to make the highest possible choice for everyone. And so by you saying he didn't quite look normal, he didn't quite look like the average person that might be out on the street asking for something, I think you've hit on something really important. I think that was not just an ordinary person. I think it was we can call him a street angel or a lesson angel or a whatever, but that's happening more and more. And it gives us the opportunity to really move forward. That's a great story.
You know, my husband has said, you know, I'll see a guy as I'm driving and he's a drug addict. So what? Open your window, please. What are you going to do? Hand the $5 to him, please. He's not ordinary. Something happened in his life that turned him this way. There's always a reason why. You know, not everybody became an alcoholic because they wanted to. They didn't become a drug addict because they wanted to. I didn't gain weight because I wanted to. It's an emotional response that happened in my life. And so, you know, and now that's part of Shadows like I'm working on, you know, so, but you know, the thing is people have to love people. And I'm so much about love. And it's been that way for a long time. But now I've been waiting for this year to open my mouth. It's like, get off your butts and start loving people, guys. Give somebody a hug. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more with Pia and Cullen. Thank you.
Diane Robbins, published author and channel, connects our hearts to the hearts of beings in advanced civilizations as she taps into the cosmos. We are living in important times now as we merge our consciousness with these of other realms and raise our vibration and awaken to who we are and why we are here. Learn to live in unconditional love. Visit DianeRobbins.com today and immerse yourself in the many books, newsletters, and channeling Diane has to offer.
Tune in to The Astral Insider, your portal for adventure, insight, and growth with Fernando Albert. And get ready to tour the astral realm, expand your life in ways you've never imagined, and call in for the journey of your life with this world-renowned lucid dreamer, astral projectionist, psychic medium, and healer, Fernando Albert. This is every second and fourth Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
If you have a sense that you are meant for more, join Heather Allison every third Tuesday at noon Pacific as she explores an ancient, forgotten energy within us and helps us access our original archetypal blueprint. The Golden Path will help you remember the key to unlocking your life, love, success, and magic you were meant for. A key to unlocking your golden path. Visit heather-allison.com.
Are you your story? Or can you change your story? Can you change what you believe to be true about yourself and your circumstances as part of your healing journey? What if you were to change your expectations? What if you were to invite ease and cooperation into every day and then step back and see what happens? It might just be easier. I'm Megan Edge, and I hope that you'll join me on my new radio show, Playing on the Edge, Radical Change with Ease, with my co-host Dr. Pat on Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to seeing you there.
Want to find out more about Megan Edge? Visit her website at meganedge.ca.
Okay, Cullen, back to you. We're talking during the break. Can you explain that a little bit, slowing down?
Well, this is a theme. Pia writes about this in her work separately from the work we do together. Uh-huh. Pia writes constantly about the fact that we have stepped away from natural cycles. We've stepped away from nature. We are so sped up that we don't know which way to look. We don't know how to lead our lives because we're so embroiled in what either the past is telling us about what we didn't do right, or we're looking towards the future where we're hoping that things will work out, but we're not just really living in the right now moment. And so trying to regain our understanding of nature and trying to regain that easy balance of everything that works is something that humanity must come back into balance through. You want to talk about that, Pia?
Well, one thing that I wanted to say is you see this lack of, hurry sickness. People are just hurried. They don't know how to slow down and retreat and balance their lives. And you see it in everything. I'm noticing a real shift, and people used to be so excited because they get instant communication with emails. Oh, I can get everything I need right now with an email. I noticed a new trend that started maybe 6 months ago where people don't even answer what's in the email. They read it and then they answer the first line or two, and then you have to come back and say, yes, but what about point 2 or point 3? Because they don't even go all the way through it to respond. They're in too big of a hurry to get on to the next email. So it's showing up in personal communication. It's showing up in people making poor decisions. It's showing up in sickness and ill health, where people don't know to respond to their body signals to slow down, and that that's just as important as pushing to get a project done. It's an epidemic.
We are nature. People forget. They think going to a national park 1 week out of the year is enough to communicate with nature. It's not enough. We have to be involved with nature every day, whether that's communicating with a plant inside our house, whether that's going for a real walk, not a virtual walk, a real walk
right
in the park or just down the street. People have to slow down. We're not going to be able to take care of all of the things that need to change. We're not going to be able to evolve unless we do two things: slow down and reacquaint ourselves with our true essence, which is nature.
You know, what's really funny about this, I have to tell you, Pia, first of all, I'm guilty of that, of not reading the whole thing. My brain goes like 90 miles an hour. I slowed it down and then it went back up again this year, right? Well, I said, wait a minute, you slowed down. Well, now you get to talk about everything. Now it needs to be back where it was, right? I said, okay, so let's slow down. So I was talking to my guides and everything, and I said, okay, brain, this is what you're going to do. You're going to slow down so I can type, right, and read my emails. Okay, so that's one. So I started slowing down. And I'm just take my time. Getting up in the morning, take my shower, do what I have to do, and come and do the show with you, right? And one day, I was taking my time on the freeway. I did 40 miles an hour on the freeway. I looked down and went, oh, crap. You know, you could get up to 60 where you're supposed to be because I don't want to take it, right? Man's laws, right? But I realized how much I've slowed down. Mm-hmm. But that gave me time to look at me inward also. You know, and yes, being with nature is very important. So I have beautiful trees outside, but I also brought nature in my house. Mm-hmm. Even through my curtains to make, you know, if I could be in a log cabin, I'd be in a log cabin again, right? And so my 1907 Victorian home is kind of looking like a country home instead inside, right? Till I can move back out in the woods somewhere. But, you know, it's really important that we do get involved with the animal kingdoms and be out in nature and walk on Mother Earth and, you know, and collaborate with her, also commune with her. You know, people forget about that. And so, you know, I just think of these things and it's like, people go, where do you get this from? I said, I don't know. I just get it. You know, it's what we're supposed to do.
It's natural.
Yeah. I go hug my tree. People look at me on the corner of the street, right in the city. And I'm out there hugging my tree, you know, sorry, but you know, it's too much fun. Okay. So we talked about that. So the other thing I want to make, based on the Pleiadian Earth energy astrology system, what kind of changes can we expect for 2020 based on the system?
Well, that depends on how much people get in alignment with stepping away from the old paradigm and being ready to align with the new paradigm. I think we're going to have changes regardless, but I think the changes will be much more awe-inspiring and fun if we get with the program and feel like we're in alignment with cosmic energies rather than sticking with an artificial calendar where we go to work from 9 to 5 and we work 5 days a week and then we're supposed to have 2 days a week off, which it never works that way.
Part of the reason why we wanted this calendar to come out in this year of 2019 and the book as a companion or vice versa, the calendar and the book together, we designed this purposefully because we believe 2019, as we've already discussed with you just tonight, that great changes are available right now in 2019. But we think 2020 is probably going to be even a more changeable year than 2017, 2018, 2019 put together. So as Pia just mentioned, if people can start to work to understand energy in a much, much more deep way through this information that the Pleiadians have given us, that will allow 2020 to more naturally occur. And I hope there will be less bumps in the road. If we do our homework this year, hopefully with momentous changes next year, we'll be more well prepared.
One of the things, Brie, that I think we can look for is people are beginning to perk up their ears when you mention the word energy. So people are beginning to understand that everything is made out of energy and that energy has its own intelligence and energy moves and shifts and changes, and they're beginning to understand that we are energy as well as everything else. So if we, through the work that we're doing with this book and this calendar, can get people in alignment with discovering and being curious about their own energy or their people in their lives' energy, how do they manifest? How does their energy relate? Then that's going to help when the big changes come in 2020 because everybody will see it in terms of energy instead of seeing it in terms of time, catastrophe, events, whatever we normally categorize something as happening, a situation, a circumstance, a time, an event.
everything's been categorized through time. It's amazing. We are truly, truly controlled by what our friends Larkma say is a false earthly belief that time really exists. They will say over and over again publicly that time doesn't exist in the universe. It's only an earthly understanding,
perception
of how we can separate this occurrence from this occurrence from this occurrence, because humans would probably be so confused if they realized that everything is really happening simultaneously. No past, no present, no future, but a simultaneous experience of everything through the understanding of energy. So I think what is so important about what Pia just said about using energy rather than time is going to get us to the point where we fit in, we balance, we harmonize with all energies, whether that's human, extrastellar, the animal kingdom, the David kingdom, whatever the energies are. If we can utilize the understanding of energy rather than time, we'll fit together way more easily.
Wow. That's amazing, because we have to follow time for appointments and stuff, right? But when I'm at home, I never look at the clock. I'm just doing my stuff as I go. And all of a sudden my husband's home from work. I'm going, wow, it went that fast. I don't pay attention to it. I hear people say, oh, I got to be there by this time or that time. It's like, really? For appointments, that's one thing, doctor's appointment or whatever, right? Or when I had my appointment with you yesterday. That's different, but your daily life does not have to be rushed.
Well, that's exactly right. Before the Gregorian calendar was introduced, before the mechanical clock was introduced, and especially, this may sound funny, but especially since the electric light was invented, which turned night into day for many people, we have been misleading ourselves, thinking that we have to do things according to calendar, clock, and light, artificial light in this case. And before those things happened, before they were invented, people lived the way you're describing. You live at home every day. Mm-hmm. You're living through natural cycle of, am I hungry? Do I need to take a nap? Do I need to be active? Do I need to do this or do that? Those were all natural cycles that are hormonal systems. Everything in our entire physical human makeup was designed to work on cycles and patterns. All of the things that have been invented in the past 300 to 500 years have done nothing but interrupt those natural cycles. And it would be much better if people could just do what you've been doing at home. It would feel better, we would be healthier, and the world would work a lot more smoothly.
Aside from our scheduled synchronistic appointments that we have to keep, like you just said, an appointment that we're meeting with someone else and our times have to mesh. Aside from that, if you live more in this natural order, this natural flow, you are living in the now. You're not thinking about or acting on what happened 5 minutes ago or what's coming, 2 hours from now. You're in the now, right now.
Right.
And that allows us to touch into the synchronicity that's possible to guide our lives. When we stop and think about everything's happening simultaneously, that means that we can step from one parallel universe into another parallel universe at any moment that we want to accomplish whatever is needed for that now moment. We're not locked in the way we are with time. Time is a prison. It completely locks us in.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Ancient people. Go ahead.
When I look at time, it's just there. It's like, okay, 5 minutes, my husband's gonna be home. I'll just do that for example, right? But no, it can be a prison. You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. And Cullen, you had something to say?
Well, I was just going to say that ancient people lived a much more natural lifestyle. They, as Pia said, they got up with the sunrise. They worked, but they didn't work an 8-hour shift like we have been forced since the Industrial Revolution began almost 300 years ago, people didn't work for 8 hours a day. They worked until they were hungry. They stopped, they ate. If there was more work to do, they went back to work. If they didn't, they played music, or they made a clay pot, or they did something other than just purely working. And
right.
We've gotten so far afield from that original cyclical natural life that it's pretty much wrecked all of our systems, our human biological systems. And Pia and I can hardly wait until people are able to function more clearly by not working an 8-hour day. We're watching in Europe and in other places around the world where they're dropping away from the 8-hour shift. They're having 6-hour shifts, or they're only working 4 days a week instead of 5 or 6 days a week. And we applaud this new movement because these societies know that it's healthier and happier not to have to punch the clock like that every single day.
All right. Well, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Learn to keep your best friend happy at Button Veterinary Hospital, your veterinarian in Tacoma, Washington, a full-service companion and animal hospital providing quality veterinary care throughout the life of your pet. At Button Vet, they understand the special role your pet plays in your family and are dedicated to becoming your partner in your pet's healthcare. To learn more about Button Vet, Dr. Danielle Jensen, and their other incredible veterinarians, visit buttonvet.com.
Are you ready to stop stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem from running your life? Join award-winning author Dr. Friedemann Schaub for Empowerment Radio and learn breakthrough solutions to switch out of survival mode and approach every day with great ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in the first and third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific to Empowerment Radio with host Dr. Friedemann Schaub on Transformation Talk Radio. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com to learn more.
The earth is an ever-changing being. Goddess Light shamanic healer Brie Gibbs guides us through the ascending worlds, bringing forth knowledge and truth. As a light creator, she is here to provide new information needed at this time in our evolution. Join Brie as she shares messages from guides, spirits, ascended masters, goddesses, and others. Tune in Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific for the Dr. Brie Show, The Goddess Emergence, and live the authentic life.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Pia, I was wondering, we only have not quite 15 minutes left. Is there something that you can tell our audience as a leading gift for them? Not the book, but your words.
I think what I'd like to do is encourage everybody who's listening to start noticing the cycles and patterns in your own life. The book that I wrote, Sacred Retreat, was about cycles on Earth. And then when we wrote this book, it's about cycles reaching out into the cosmos as well as on Earth. I want people to come back into alignment with recognizing that we have cycles in everything that makes us alive. We have cycles in relationships. We have cycles in our moods. We have cycles in our physiological parts of what's going on with us. Everything about us is a cycle of some sort. And within that cycle is an expression of energy. And that energy is who we are. That's the essence of who we are. And within that energetic signature, we can take a high vibrational approach to life, or we can take a low vibrational approach to life. So if we start looking at the cycles and we start recognizing that we can go to the high vibration or the low vibration of the energy in every single moment, all of a sudden life takes on a different meaning. We can see, oh, this pattern that I'm in, every time I'm here on the cycle, I go into a low vibrational place where I blame everybody else, or I get really emotional, or I don't like myself, or whatever it is. And you can pay attention to that and start saying, I see the cycle. I know how to deal with it now. And then when you're feeling really good, really happy, and you can notice that in your cycle too, and go, what brings this around in the cycle? How do I stay in this place or greet it more fully so I can be in a high vibrational place more often? Noticing this way the energy moves within us helps us understand how we move within the world, and that affects all of our relationships. Relationships with our most intimate partners, relationships with our children, our parents, our friends, our coworkers, everything. It's about the energy of relationships. So that's my parting gift, is to ask people, pay attention to how you cycle around and ask, am I in a lower vibrational place or a higher vibrational place? And what does that feel like? How do I want to change it?
I have a question for you. And this just kind of came in my head. So on some of my shadow cycles, and the problem my husband had yesterday, let me not go there. But I still wanted to strangle him yesterday. But anyway, was that something I had to face, baby, about him? That's a question I have for you. I know that sounds a little different, even though it's his problem. But is it something I had to face and look at? And I just started laughing at him when I was done. I couldn't help it.
My feeling about that, Brie, is that everything that happens to us, we either look at it and cock our heads and say, that's interesting, or we get triggered by it. And if we get triggered by it, it's our work. We got something to do. There's a pattern there that's showing itself because somebody's given us a gift. They've said something to trigger us. They've been mean to us. They have, done something we don't like. And if we can't look at it and say, well, that's their problem, that's just how he's being at the moment, but we take it in personally, we've got work to do.
So the reason I was laughing is, I have to tell you this, is because it was the way I used to act when I was a teenager. Like a spoiled little kid not getting their way, right? And I just started laughing at him. I'm going, are you serious? Are you going through menopause or what? And I just started laughing. Then he started laughing, but it wasn't funny when he was acting this way, right? I always use my husband on the show. He knows that. So we're all good. But anyway, so I was laughing and I'm going, oh my gosh, you're reminding me of a teenager.
There's a little thin line here we have to walk, and that is recognizing and taking responsibility for our own emotional reactions to whatever the trigger was, whatever she did to us, our perception that they did it to us, but they provide the trigger. So it's our responsibility to monitor our reactions, and instead of reacting, respond, laughing like you just did. The other part is whoever's being the trigger has a responsibility also. They have a responsibility to be true to themselves, but at the same time be compassionate and not put negative energy in your face.
Right.
So there's responsibility on both parties. That's how I see it.
So when I talked to him about it, and he realized how much negative was going around, he goes, where's the Palo Santo wood? I said, it's in the drawer, light it. You started it, you cleaned it up, right? Get it out of the house. Open the back door, shove it out, But, it's such a joy for me to have you guys on here because there's answers and questions that I got. It's like we have so much to learn from you. And I want the listeners to get a hold of you. How's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
We have 2 websites. The first website is LARKMA, LAARKMAA.com, LARKMA.com. And you'll find all of our books, information about personal sessions with the Pleiadians, our once-a-month free international live call where you can participate and actually talk to the Pleiadians. All of that's on that website. And then I have a separate website that is just my name, Pia, P-I-A, Orleane, ORLEANE.com. And that has all the astrology work on it, as well as articles and books, other things that I have written myself. So they can get in touch with us through either website. And we are inviting all of your listeners to do that. We love being in touch with people.
Now, remember, listeners, I want to tell you this. So whoever writes into drbriegibbs.com and said, I listened to the show with Pia and Cullen, I have the free book. Let me put it up here for you one more time. The Pleiadian Earth Energy Astrology. So you guys see that. I will send that out to you immediately. And I'm going to, on my site, I'll offer a calendar to go with it. So that is because in the center, we have your books and calendars. So, it's like that needs to go. So we got 3 more minutes to the end. I'm just so joyful. I can't explain it. When I read my chart, it all went in perspective of what's happened with me over the last year, the one you did the year before, 2 years before, and then now. It's just the evolving that's happening. And I still can't get the thing out of my mind about 40 miles an hour on the freeway. Because
it's not a typical astrology chart. It's an energy reading that tells you who you are, what your challenges are, what your karma is that you're working with. So it's a really fun tool to have.
It is. This system is a completely revolutionary new system that's not really that aligned with normal astrology. It is astrology, but it uses energy rather than time or placement for the understanding of who someone is and how they relate to everything else.
And it also uses the number 13, which is lucky women's number, bringing in the energy of the divine feminine and the power of Venus as part of exploring the energy of who you are.
That explains something to me, Pia. Since I've been a little girl, my mom said I was like 3-4 years old. I would always say my lucky number is 13. I've said it all my life. They said Friday 13th. That's my lucky number.
Of course.
Now I understand why.
Yes, of course.
I didn't understand that. So, as we're getting to the end of the show, I have one of my charts up. I'm going to let you see how thick this is. This is thick. This is what you're going to get. All of this. I mean, I can't read it, get all the pages. And you're going to be able to go through and see things about yourself. And what's really nice is Pia gets back with you and goes through the chart with you to help you explain everything and understand it. And if you don't understand it, you're going to understand it by the time she's done. I'm telling you, it's great. I want to thank you again for being on the show with me. This is going to be amazing. It's not a chart. I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying chart. You might as well say it's a small book.
Very small book of you.
Yeah, it's a small book of you. There are a lot of people who ask me, how do you know if you're Pleiadian? How do you know this? And that may be another time for another show, because I'd really like to get into that one day with you guys, because I'm very comfortable with the Pleiadians. It feels like home to me, but I also know I've been other places. But, that's maybe in the future we could do that, because a lot of people have asked me, to ask you that. How do they know? So thank you very much for joining the show today. Really appreciate you being here. And I'll see everyone next week on the Dr. Brie Show.
You've been listening to the Dr. Brie Show, The Goddess Emergence. Join Dr. Brie Gibbs Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Each show is designed to share and discuss timely key messages and truths. Dr. Brie brings forth gods and goddesses, ascended masters, and other communication our world needs. For more about Dr. Brie or the Goddess Emergence, visit www.drbriegibbs.com. That's www.drbriegibbs.com. And we'll see you next time.